Hello everyone, Silent here and welcome back to another episode of Bug Rock of the Week. Today we're going to be taking a look at 10 bugs and glitches in Minecraft 1.18 that you probably didn't know about. In case you haven't seen it, I just released a 20 bugs in 100 seconds 1.18 edition, so if you haven't seen that video, what are you doing? Go watch it. It's literally 100 seconds, links are everywhere, and that is also another 20 bugs that you probably don't know about. One of the most epic bugs in 1.18 is one that is actually marked as won't fix on the bug tracker, and that is these absolutely huge chasms in the Minecraft world where mountain biomes should be. These only occur at about 3 million blocks out and further, so as you can see, Minecraft is starting to break down and it can't really process our movement that smoothly, so everything is all jittery. This would be a mountain range if Minecraft actually generated it properly. But as you can see, there's absolutely nothing here, going all the way down to Bedrock. And the reason why this one is so interesting is because you can actually see a fully formed aquifer as well. Not only do we have 3 fully formed aquifers, but we also have a lava aquifer here as well, which is just so cool. And then of course we got slimes, the wandering trader is out here as well. I swear, every time I go out to the far reaches of the world, always a wandering trader, and no, I'm still not gonna buy from you. So unless Mojang changes their mind or another bug deletes this bug, this one is here to stay, and you can find these in creative or in survival past about 3 million blocks in your Minecraft worlds. There's a couple of pretty big bugs regarding raids and witches. So witches can actually instantly despawn from a raid. As you can see up here, we have 3 witches and 3 pillagers, and if we drop down 44 blocks below them, then they will despawn. As you can see, the raid bar is now half empty. It's worth noting that witches and raids in general can spawn more than 44 blocks away from you, meaning that the witches would instantly despawn. And for the most part, this bug only affects a simulation distance of 4 worlds, but most people play on Sim 4 anyway, so yeah, it's a pretty widespread bug, and if you notice any witches missing from your raids, this is almost certainly why. There's been a small change to the raid mechanics, so now whenever you defeat a raid, there'll be a raid victory bar at the top of the screen, and this will actually prevent you from starting a new raid. So this bar lasts for about 30 seconds, and during that time, even if you get more bad omen, a new raid cannot be started. This means that you get about 5 less raids per hour, or about 500 less emeralds per hour from your raid farm, which is actually a pretty big nerf for any regular raid farm that doesn't use village stacking or other mechanics. So overall, not really that great. This change is currently only in beta 1.18 2021 and up, so we have a little while until it's introduced to the main game. However, when it's introduced, it's going to be a pretty big nerf to all of our raid farms. Boats in Bedrock Edition have 20 health, the same amount as a player, so that explains why they take so long to break. As you can see, they take ages to punch. If you hit them with an axe, they take slightly less long, and of course, the better tool you have, the faster it goes. And if you have strength, then that also helps you kill them faster as well. Now, on Java Edition, they only have like 1.5 hearts or something like that, like 3 health, something absolutely tiny, and you can basically instant kill them or break them with a stone axe, no issues. Now just think of it this way, every time you break a boat, you're basically just killing a player's worth of boat. Something that you probably have noticed is these absolutely massive frozen oceans and icebergs in your Minecraft worlds. These are basically in every single world now, and you can find them by looking at chunk base, and they literally go on for thousands of blocks. It's really quite very strange because no other biome is this large and this standard all throughout. Granted, these things are really fun to boat across, and you can be boating around on these literally for hours and not get to the other side. And if you're trying to explore one of these on a lower end device with a low render distance or on a realm, you quite literally could be lost in here for a super long time simply because they go on for so long and you can't see the other side. Literally on 96 chunk render distance, and I can't even see where I came from on that side, and I can just barely see the edge of it on this side. It's massive, and it's just way too much. And we're not going to mention the rendering bug behind us. Nope. not gonna mention it. Okay, maybe I'll mention it. On second thought, never mind. While we're on the topic of render distance, I would like to mention that 1.18 has reduced the maximum render distance for basically everyone. So previously, if you had like a 30 chunk render distance, that might have been decreased to a maximum of 20 chunks or something like that. That is because 1.18 has a lot more caves below you and a lot more world above you, so there is just a lot more Minecraft to load, and it's going to take a lot more computing power to load the same amount of world, basically. So they had to decrease your maximum amount of render distance. So as we get more 1.18 updates, you might see your maximum render distance get increased a little bit, but I wouldn't hold out too much hope. And basically, if you want a higher render distance, you're gonna have to play on a more powerful device. A fairly widespread bug for those of you who are playing on Windows 10 and using keyboard and mouse is massive amounts of input delay. Basically, whenever you move your mouse or press a button or press any keys on your keyboard, there is several hundred milliseconds of delay or even seconds of delay before anything happens in game. Obviously, this makes Minecraft pretty much unplayable, as that is super hard to work with. There are a couple of workarounds to this issue by adjusting your VSync settings, but that's not really a true solution to the problem. Massive amounts of input delay really is something that should be addressed by Mojang directly with a bug fix. A small graphical bug that you may have noticed if you're paying attention is the fact that if you have some pointed dripstones underwater and there is blocks next to them, then they'll actually appear to be bright on the surface. As you can see, it only happens when we have blocks in specific areas, and that causes them to become much brighter, and it's actually a little bit interesting. And it just looks strange, and it looks peculiar and slightly magical, and honestly, I kinda like it. If it wasn't so harsh of a border, I would kinda be on board with this bug, and I would just call it Bioluminescent Bacteria. You can actually make the water fairly bright by bringing the dripstones up out of the water as well. As you can see, the more of them that you place in, the brighter it gets, and it's honestly pretty fascinating. I like this one a lot. 1.18 also introduces these really strange and honestly pretty awesome floating shipwrecks. These things generate at about Y160 or 200 or so, and these are real shipwrecks. Like, they're real. You can interact with them, you can build on them, and the other half of the shipwreck is usually down underneath the water as well, so you just get half of a shipwreck like up in the air. And I think that's how it sank, honestly. I mean, if your ship's cut in half, one part's in the sky, the other part is, it's gonna sink. Okay, so this last one isn't necessarily a bug, but I'm super curious when we're gonna get Shulker Cloning on Bedrock Edition. I literally have not heard anything about this at all. There's been nothing in the betas or in the changelogs or anywhere about when we're gonna have renewable Shulker shells on Bedrock Edition, and I'm honestly super looking forward to this feature. It is a great feature that was introduced in 1.17 for Java, and we're still missing it on Bedrock, so where's it at? Come on, we need it already. I really want to build a shulker farm, like seriously. Overall, it seems like 1.18 is pretty light on major bugs, but I hope that you have enjoyed today's episode of Bug Rock of the Week. If you have, then of course consider leaving a like, as it helps out the video and the channel a ton. If you're new here, then maybe subscribe so you don't miss future episodes, and I'll see you guys down in the comment section and in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and then there was silence.